All right, here we go. Welcome to Free Association. This is part 2 of today's show. So when I finished doing the first show, I went straight out the door, along Clayton Street, along Newgate Street, as far as the gate, which is a shopping centre, and I'm sat outside of Wetherspoons in the gate with a cup of tea, which is a reward for getting this far. I think that's perfectly reasonable for a Sunday afternoon. I should probably have got a gin and tonic, but I didn't have enough money. So, cup of tea it is. Half a cup of tea, as it turns out. Yeah, so I've achieved what I wanted to achieve today. I don't know whether the Immunix made a difference or not, but it certainly focused my mind on what I wanted to achieve. And the amount of repetition there is about removing resistance, I think, is enough of a hypnotic suggestion that it would work. Whether it's bodies and functions and all that or not, I think just the removing resistance suggestion is enough to remove resistance. I don't know about that. I would have to speak to a hypnotherapist about that, but I think that's probably the way this is working. I think it's self-hypnosis of some kind. I think I'd like to get it analysed a little bit, or get what I'm doing analysed a little bit to see how it might work, to get a mechanism so that I don't have to rely on the mechanism that the Church of World Harmonics was giving, which is that it's conversations with God, which is not going to work in the modern world, but self-hypnosis does. And self-hypnosis based on communication with an internal God works, as far as I'm concerned. I don't have to believe in anything. I can just make the assumption that I have an internal version of God inside of me that's connected to God or not connected to God, depending on how you look at it, that's going to give me answers. So it can be mind, it could be my mind connected to universal mind, however you want to phrase this. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me what you believe. All I'm concerned with is what I believe. So you can work it out for yourself. Listen to all of these recordings that I've been doing, and you'll get some clues as to what I believe. But if you don't believe that, that's absolutely fine. I'm not here to tell anybody what to believe or what not to believe. I'm just sharing what I've learned and trying to work out an understanding of what I've learned. But anyway, that's the achievement for the day so far. I've got as far as Newgate Street to the gate. So I'm halfway to Old Eldon Square, which is 2/3 of the way to the Haymarket. So I'm a third of the way to the Haymarket, at least a third of the way to the Haymarket. I'm going to go back along St James Boulevard because I just want to test that as a route. So it might be a bit longer going back than it was coming in, but it is what it is. I've got to do it and keep a variety going, otherwise I'll get bored. But I think that's a good achievement for the day. I'm going to try and do the same thing tomorrow. Come up here for a cup of tea before I go for lunch, and make that a regular routine. I don't know how it'll work, but we'll find out tomorrow. All right, that's it for now. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you again soon.